So, welcome to another episode of Garage. Honestly, today I just kind of want to talk about the up and coming cars that are supposed to be coming for 2026 and I guess a little bit into the future. Um, I recently saw something that kind of blew my mind about the new Corvette. Well, the new Corvette that's coming out. Um, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Um, but we'll talk about that and probably get into a lot of other cars that I've seen that are coming out and everything. You know, there's a lot of hybrids coming and everything. But with that being said, I just want to say welcome to Garage, guys. I appreciate I could talk this morning. Jeez. I appreciate you guys listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate that as well. But my name is Jeff Coleman. If this is the first time you're listening to me, and I am the guy and the voice behind Garage. As always, I'm looking for interviews. If anybody wants to go ahead and actually, tell their car story or stories, or just talk about cars in general, I'm always down for that. I'd love to have some people on the channel instead of just me, because just listening to me, I think, is kind of boring sometimes. But you are listening, and I appreciate it. With that being said, let's dive into the episode and everything. Really, the first thing that comes to mind when I saw is the new Corvette that's coming out. Now, I mean, you guys know about the ZR1. Freaking crazy. The Z06, freaking crazy. Like, the new C8s they're pretty cool. I mean, from what I've seen from a reliability standpoint, they look pretty good. They look like they're kind of holding up. But the thing is, like, I don't know too much about the quality of the interiors. I've seen a few with like 30, 40,000 miles on them, and they're kind of starting to wear in some spots that you would expect stuff to hold up for interior quality and everything. But with that aside, the drivetrain, I think, is amazing. And on that note, Chevy is apparently coming out with the ZR1X. I don't know if you guys have seen this or heard about this yet, but it's going to be nuts. It's got the ZR1 engine, twin turboed, which by itself makes 1,000 horsepower. Now they're all-wheel driving it, which means they're going to have two electric motors in the front. I believe it's two electric motors in the front, one for each wheel, I think. Don't quote me on that one. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But making 1,250 horsepower. Like, Chevy just keeps pushing the envelope for what they can do with this chassis, and it is absolutely incredible in my opinion. I honestly, I just think it's nuts. We're gonna go down a rabbit hole. What I think they need to do is they need to bring back the Camaro. I feel like they need to implement some of the technology that they've been putting into these Corvettes. I'm not saying mid-engine, but chassis and suspension design and everything and stuff like that. I put it in the Camaro. Since they've been gone, Ford's been dominating the muscle car slash, I don't know if you still want to call it a pony car, but they've been dominating this whole entire thing. And I think there's a market for it now, especially since Dodge. I don't know what Dodge is doing. I don't even think Dodge knows what Dodge is doing at this point. Yeah, I know they're bringing back the Hemi and they're putting it back into the Ram. But I've heard rumors, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but I've heard rumors that they're apparently going to be bringing it back into the Charger or Challenger. I don't know. They're kind of pushing the Hurricane engine pretty hard right now, and in my opinion, it's not really a muscle car. I don't think it should be classified as a muscle car. I think if you're a muscle car, you honestly, again, in my opinion, should have at least a V8. Like, it's one of those things, like, you need to have the V8 if you're going to consider yourself a muscle car or you know, pony car, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just think that I think they need to rethink their whole design or rethink their whole, I don't want to say marketing, but what they're doing with their vehicles. Nobody wants what Dodge is doing. Anyway, I digress. So I was talking about Chevy and GM. I do think that the Camaro needs to come back. You know, like I feel like the big three need to go at it again. I feel like that's what people want. Um, and they need to try to keep the cost down. That's the other thing right now. Like the cost of these vehicles is insane. I mean, like for a Mustang, I'm sorry, it's $40,000. Like there was a time when the Mustang was the affordable car. Well, the affordable muscle car, put it that way. Now it's just it they're not cheap anymore. I feel like a lot of these manufacturers need to understand who is buying these cars or who wants these cars. You know, and it's not like it's people in their 20s and 30s. You know, um, and I don't feel like they want to be paying 40 to 50, $60,000 on a muscle car or pony car. I keep saying pony car, but I'll just say muscle car. Um, I think that it's I think that it's too much. I could be wrong. I don't know. Leave comments, guys. You know what I mean? Give me your opinions on this kind of stuff. But I mean, I just think that's astronomical what these cars are pulling right now. What MSRP is on these vehicles. Um, it's nuts. It's nuts. I just think a lot of these companies need to rethink their um, what they're charging for these vehicles. I don't think they need to be charging what they're charging. I could be wrong. I don't run these companies. I'm just your average Joe seeing what is happening in the world today. But with that being said, there is a lot of cool stuff coming out. A lot of hybrids, which I'm honestly not opposed to. I think that hybrid technology has a place. I think that fully electric, I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think the technology is awesome, but I don't think that we're ready. I don't know if we ever will be because of the fact that there's too much money tied up in oil and everything else and stuff like that. I just don't think that it's going to happen, at least in the foreseeable future. Ever since all these incentives have gone away or are going away, a lot of these EV prices have skyrocketed, and people don't really go for it. I don't think people want to be spending, $40,000, $50,000 on a fully electric vehicle. It's just not. It's not something that's feasible, I guess I could say. Um, but hey, I mean, there's that true to time saying. There's an ask for every seat. Majority though, I don't think people are going for this. Hybrid technology, I believe, is where we probably should be going. Um, People still want the combustion engine, and having the hybrid technology is a way to bridge the gap between fully electric and I've seen an acronym and I've never seen it until like probably within the past week is ICE, the internal combustion engine. And I was like, ICE. I'm like, okay. So, you have ICE and then you have EV. So I think that ICE is here to stay. I think that it's never going to go away. Um, and I think that the future for right now is hybrid technology, unless we can figure out a better way to do it, um, and it doesn't ruin our environment, or like I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm going to leave that one alone because there's a whole other thing. Like it starts to get political and everything else and stuff like that. And I kind of want to keep the channel away from being political like that. But that's a whole nother ball game. I just think that, wow, I digressed. Man. Anyway, back to what I was saying. There's a lot of cool vehicles coming out. I've seen rumors that apparently McLaren is going to be making an SUV. I think it's called, well, the wow, I can't think. The prototype or the pretty much it's called the P47 is what I've heard. Rumors have it that it's about the same size as the Panamera. So I don't know how that's going to work. I think it's supposed to be like kind of like a four-door crossover car SUV kind of thing or something. But that should be interesting to see what comes of that. I haven't really found any specs or anything on it, at least anything concrete. So I don't really want to talk too much about it. But there is that. That is coming, apparently. And then you have Dodge doing their thing. What Stellantis? They apparently just came out with a fully electric Cherokee, and I don't know, whatever. Again, you guys know my take on electric vehicles, so be it, fine, whatever. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out this year. I think we're going to see a lot of boundaries pushed with hybrid and gasoline technology. I think that the future is going to be interesting when it comes to cars. I think a lot of car companies, or at least I hope a lot of car companies, are going to start listening to buyers and everything. And hopefully we start seeing stuff that, you know, comes out that's more what we want, you know. I know personally, honestly, like I'd like to see some more hot hatches come back. You know, like I miss not the crazy power, you know, give me something that's got about 200 horsepower, a four-door hatch. You know, we don't have a lot of that anymore. I feel like everybody's gone to like sedans and stuff. I would like to honestly see, I'd like to see some more of that, and I'd like to see coupes come back. I don't know about you guys, but I miss like the four-banger Civic Si. You know, I miss that stuff. I miss those cars. You know, I think that Toyota needs to come out with a two-door coupe again. I'd like to see them do something like that with the, you know, make a GR Corolla two-door. That would actually be really cool. But yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to close this episode out, but if you like this channel and you like listening to me, give a like, give a subscribe. And again, I am always looking for people that want to be on my podcast and everything. Let me know if you want to, you know, interview, tell your stories, you know, tell how you got into the car scene. You know, we'll chat and we'll go from there. But you want to be on the podcast, drop a comment, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one, or you can listen to me in the next one. Later. Peace.